Hey y'all, I'm the Canadian Nerd and welcome to what is coincidentally episode 5, as well as my iPhone 5 and first anime episode. So the iPhone 5 came out on Friday and I've been knee deep in it since Friday morning at 8:30 a.m. What? It's not like I'm one of those crazy Apple guys or anything. So to show you guys what all the noise is about with the iPhone 5, what I'll do is I'll first show you guys a quick unboxing, after which I'll put the 4S and the 5 head to head in an app launching comparison. Then we'll be comparing the sizes of the iPhone 4S and 5, after which we'll be finishing the iPhone segment with my pros and cons list for the iPhone 5. Lastly, I'll bring you my very first anime segment of an amazing show called Samurai Champloo, which is near and dear to me as one of my very favorites. So let's jump in and check out the iPhone 5 unboxing. So no big surprises there with the exception of Apple's new EarPods, which come in their own clear plastic case and should help with traveling and keeping your headphones from getting tangled when you throw them in your bags or in your pocket. There's also the new connector and a sync cable which you saw, which is both reversible and smaller and looks a lot sleeker on your phone. But now let's take a look at how the iPhone 5 actually fares against the 4S when it comes to launching apps, in addition to how much thinner and bigger it is at the same time. Let's go. Alright guys, so here we are with the iPhone 5 to the left and the iPhone 4S to the right. And what we're going to do is we're going to launch a couple apps just to give you an idea of the processing power in the new iPhone 5. Without further ado, let's jump in. First, I'd like to show you that I have the taskbar completely empty on both phones. Now let's take a look at some of the apps. Let's check out the Starbucks app. A lot quicker on the iPhone 5, obviously. Let's try launching the cameras. Marginally quicker on the iPhone 5, however, quicker nonetheless. Now let's try launching iTunes. As we can see, a bit quicker on the iPhone 5 once again. And lastly, let's check out Pages. Well, it's unfortunate that they didn't launch into the same thing. However, as I'm sure you noticed, it did launch much quicker on the iPhone 5. But yeah, let's physically compare both phones now and see how they stack up. Alright y'all, so here what we're going to do is we're physically going to compare both the 4S and the iPhone 5 to give you guys an idea of how they stack up in terms of thickness, height, etc. So let's go. This on the right is obviously the 4S, and this phone over here is the iPhone 5. So now let's check out their heights. So as we can see, there is a significant difference of about half an inch, which is the increase in screen size on the iPhone 5. Now thickness. As we can see, the iPhone 4S is thicker, not much, but I believe the statistics were 18% thicker. And there's how they stack up right next to each other. Also, if you want, you can take a look at the back. There's the 4S, all glass. And now we've got the new 5 with the brushed aluminum back with glass at both the top and bottoms. Additionally, the iPhone 5 port has now changed. As we can see, we've got the larger pin connector on the iPhone 4S, whereas on the iPhone 5 we've got the new reversible pin connector with the headphone jack affixed to the bottom. rather than the top as it is on the iPhone 4S. So as you saw, the iPhone 5 is a significant leap forward in technology and design. I mean, look, it's thinner but more powerful. It has a bigger screen but more battery life, and still looks great at the same time. But now let's take a look at my iPhone 5 pros and cons list, beginning with my cons. So my first con for the iPhone 5 is the satellite view in Apple's new Maps app. Although the flyby view is amazing, the satellite view really just looks like a low-res, flattened version of what Google has in their Maps application. My second con is the brushed aluminum back, which, despite looking amazing, is apparently super prone to getting scratches on it, as the interwebs have been tweeting and shouting about all weekend. My third con, and although this isn't new, is the fact that iOS 6 actually takes 2.5 gigabytes of the memory on your phone. So what this means is if you have a 16 gigabyte phone, you're actually only left with 13.5 gigabytes to begin with. So my fourth con for the iPhone 5 is its lack of compatibility with the previous generation's accessories. And now for my pros for the iPhone 5. And number one is screen size. And although there is only an increase of 1/2 inch on the screen, it's super impressive. It means more tweets, more contacts, you can see more of your songs, and altogether you just get a more immersive experience when it comes to doing anything from tweeting to playing games. My second pro is the speed and power. I mean, it's so quick that I feel like the only thing I now have to wait for is the internet. And this comes as a result of the new A6 processor, which is apparently twice as quick as the previous generation, i.e. the processor on the iPhone 4S. My third pro for the iPhone 5 is thickness, which statistically clocks in at, I believe, 18% thinner than the 4S. And although that doesn't sound like a great deal, what it means is that my iPhone 5 with its case on now is about as thick as my iPhone 4S without a case. My fourth pro are Apple's new EarPods, which despite its stupid name and unconventional shape, actually deliver an impressively full sound and impressive noise cancellation as well. And my last pro, which pertains more specifically to iOS 6 than the iPhone 5, is the new flyby feature in the Maps application. Now, despite this feature being limited to only downtown cores of a really limited number of cities, it really looks amazing. It gives you a super amount of detail. You can rotate around buildings, neighborhoods, and it really feels like you're flying by. So yeah, that's it for my iPhone 5 segment. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave any questions or comments below, and I'll get back to them ASAP. And next week I'll do a bit more of a full review after having a bit more time with the iPhone 5. Alright, so it's time for my very first anime segment, and I'm super excited to be able to tell you about my very favorite anime series called Samurai Champloo. Samurai Champloo is a Japanese anime series developed by Manglobe and featuring director Watanabe of Cowboy Bebop. Samurai Champloo was released in 2004 and only lasted 26 episodes, at which point it concluded in 2005. Set in a fictional version of Japan during the Edo period, Samurai Champloo actually features 3 different characters. First is Mugen. Mugen is crude, swears, and looks out for only himself. Second is Jin. Jin is calm, wise, and well-disciplined. And then there's Fu, the optimist and glue binding the group together. But let's take a look at the story and plot from episode 1 that drive the entire series. Mugen walks into the restaurant that Fu happens to work in. Fu accidentally spills tea on an official's son. He threatens Fu's life, and Mugen steps in and deals with them in exchange for food. Enter Jin, looking for a bite to eat, when Mugen attacks him to prove how talented he is. This goes on until the restaurant collapses in flames on top of both of them, and they wake up prisoners of the official whose son Mugen killed. Fu finds them and breaks them out in exchange for help finding the samurai who smells of sunflowers. Honestly. Then after fighting their way out of what looks like an Edo-era prison, all three set off to find the samurai who smells of sunflowers. So in a very high-level way, that was the plot driving this series. Intriguing, is it not? So next I've got a 1.5-minute clip of the show to show you guys, just to give you a quick feel of the show and what it's all about. Let's do it.
何の罪もない男を切り捨てる。そんなことのために今までその腕を磨いてきたのか。貴様！はっきり言ってくだらないよ。問答無用！覚悟！あ？まったく安い命だな。なんだ？てめえらの命の値段だ。一人頭団子5個ってどこか？数合わないし。なめてんのかこら。いい度胸してんじゃねえか。てめえから先に試し切りしてやろうか。やってみるよ。一人ずつなんてケチくさいことは言わねえ。まとめてかかってこいや！てめえ開けんな！
That was awesome. Did you notice Mugen's offensive style as compared to Jin's more passive laid-back style? Freaking ridiculous. So lastly, I'd like to talk to you about the music in Samurai Champloo. The music is actually amazing and is spun off several different albums, the best of which is produced by late Japanese producer Nujabes as well as American producer Fat John. What you're looking at right now is the album which actually features Samurai Champloo's theme song, Departure. Departure is a great hip-hop song featuring a Japanese, English-speaking artist named Shing Otu. And guess what? It's coming up now for you to hear. So let's check it out. So that's it for episode 5. I hope you enjoyed it. So come back next week for some discussion on action figures, as well as an interview with cosplayer Mega Turtley in either episode 6 or 7. I'll see you then, and please remember to comment, like, share, and subscribe. And until episode 6, take care, peace, à la prochaine, see you then.